Okay, we're going to start slow today. We're going to try to knock these. Here's the piece I showed you first. Knock this one out right here. And I'm sorry I don't have all the correct Volvo nomenclature because I'm getting started. But alright, park brake cable is right here. This bolt needs to come out. And then there's a bracket. Hold on, go freehand here for just a second. There's a bracket right there. Here's the main bolt supporting it, and then there's a couple, 1, 2, 3, and the exhaust mount ties off of there. So 1, 2, 3, and then this one. Now I've kind of got it supported coming from the other side, because what I want to happen is when I get this bracket loose, I want this to come down. All I need is enough clearance to this thing. Let me back up a little. Right here's the bolt, here's the element behind it. The bracket holds it all up, and it's sandwiched between the body and the this bracket. So I want this to come down and give me just enough room to get in there. Okay, if this comes down, all right, I've got it supported with the jack right now and jack stands, but I'm going to let it hang. Okay, and I've got the jack stand only on the traverse bar from the opposite side, so it's fully supported. I'm not going to get hurt, but at the same time I want to be able to let this dangle and then do the work, because what happens is the part right here has to be pulled out. So we'll see how that works out, but I'm going to put a little lube on these things, going back with the acetone trans fluid like I normally do, and then we'll see about getting it down. I don't need to take the park brake cable off. I just need to get it down and let it give it some space. Okay? Yeah, kind of like my wife said today. Just give me some space. That's all. Okay. Just kidding. See you, bye. Okay. Providence has shined on us this morning. I took out this nut right here, which we'll talk about in a second. The main pivot bolt, this behemoth. 3 of the 4 bracket bolts, oh, excuse me, 2 of the 3 go up into the body. They're safe and good. I think this one here was a little gnarly. It's exposed on the back side. If you can see it, this guy back here, it's exposed. So you may want to give it a little love. I'm not going to take this off because it's Michigan and winter. That looks like I'm going to be borrowing trouble if I do that. The other brake line it's doing its thing. It seems to be well supported. This bolt, I want to bring your attention right here. Yeah, this one right here is what retains that in, and it is serrated. All right, because it goes up into a blind hole. There's no way to grab it. There's no nothing. It's just in there. So that's what we're at. So next we get to see if the tool does it as it is advertised. I bought the miracle tool, spent the money, because my time's worth a little bit. So if I can get this in and out with a tool, and you know, that's what we're going to go after. So I will bring you back. Okay, now we've entered the danger zone. Here's the tool. I wanted to show it with you in place. The part's going to be coming out. It's going to be pulled this way. There we go. That way. Inside this block there is a pin that goes up inside, not very far, and this thing was covered in rust proofing and everything else, so you had to kind of feel around for it. And it goes up in there. This pinch bolt on the top, don't go crushing on this thing because it's just holding that pin in place. So the forcing of this one, it's going to take this as the point, and then it's going to pull back this way, and it's going to pull the sleeve out, theoretically. So we're going to get set up here. If you look real close here, you can see that this is just rubber. Is just, yeah, it's not rubber anymore. It's more of a metallic rust gelled hybrid nonsense. So anyway, we're going to get that. What you're seeing right now, I'm going to put a block of wood, place it in here, but if you look really carefully, there you go. See, it will clear. I just got to get something wedged in there to do its bit. And hopefully it will pull straight. The one thing I don't like on this tool, those are roll pins. Yeah, they're kind of big roll pins, but I'm thinking that ought to be a solid pin. I wonder if I have enough equipment here in the shop to make it happen. Yeah, you really do. Okay, we're going to bring you back after I get this pulled. It's going to be ugly television. Well, I don't know. What the heck? Let's see what we can do. Let's see here. Like that. Okay, notice how that pivoted? Give this a little bit more of a snug here. Don't go tightening down on this crazy, because all you're doing is you're just going to bend the tool. It just comes up in an elbow. It's nothing really that exotic. Okay, that's loosening and tightening. So when I drive this in, it's going to thread this part and pull outward. All right, I'm flush here, so we should be in good shape. Let's see what happens. Okay, all right. Get this down out of the way. Okay, it's pretty much is out of the way. Pretty much is right there. Okay, we're going to turn on a low torque setting here to see what's going to happen. Sometimes the impacting on this would work good, but we'll see. See it tightening up. It ain't moving yet. Okay. It's under tension. Sorry, Freddie. Let's negotiate with it. Main thing I'm worried about is that bottom pin pulling out. Okay. It's under a good amount of tension now. Make sure nothing like that's holding up. No, it's not adding anything. What are you doing, Dan? Shocking it. Sometimes that's all that you need. It's under a good amount of tension. Keeps pulling and hasn't slipped off yet, so we're in good shape there. Alright. We'll bring you back after I keep pulling here. Whew! Well, I saved you from a lot of it, but sorry for the compressor in the background. It's mad too. When I was pulling, you could actually see the metal part coming out. You can look in this hole right here, and then you can see the actual center of it. What was sticking is this plastic part right here. Yeah, I don't know what was on it, what its problem was, but oh my gosh. So what I did, just a little bit of MAP gas right here. Don't go nuts. You'll set this on fire. Your brake line's right behind it. No, just a little right there. And just put it under tension. Keep it under tension. And then just let that heat wick its way around. And then eventually you see what happened. It just started like a little. Then eventually the tension that was on the tool basically just broke its hold. It was a nasty one. It really was nasty. Don't believe that it's going to just pop out. It might, but in the rusty, corrosive area where I'm at, it said, no, how bad do you want this? So I'm going to get it the rest of the way out of here, and then we'll bring you back. Okay, here it is. Yeah, it's still early in the morning, but dang. So here's the main bolt. Sits in there like this. Here's the main bolt, and here's that of the bolt that's inside that you saw that has the serrations on it. So that really bolts into position. That wasn't where all the restriction was when I was pulling. That was coming from this plastic sleeve. Plastic, believe it or not. And it just didn't want to budge. It was giving the tool everything it was doing, and it was getting ready to yield the pins that I warned you about earlier. Those roll pins. It's like, it's really getting to be kind of hard. So I put it under tension, and as I mentioned before, I hit it with the torch just a little bit, not enough to catch everything on fire, but what it did is, you notice it actually broke the seal of that plastic to that inner frame. So it's there, but my God, that was, yeah. I don't know what you're going to do with trying to pull that out with a hammer or something. I mean, yeah, you could yank all day with a slide hammer because there's a lot of give in that area. So I think the tool's necessary, but I think I just taught myself a little trick I'm going to use on the opposing side, is to go ahead and get it under tension, get everything ready to go. Because it was funny, the hole that it sits in, I could see this entire width of this going past. It had pulled this thing that far, and the stretch was happening right here. So this was moving this way, and this was not. So it wouldn't break free, so it was actually stretching it. And look at the inside of this thing. Yeah, yuck. So, I think I just learned myself a trick that hopefully it would work for someone else too. Again, don't screw around. Get the tool. I know you can do it without it, but it's still early in the day, and I've got this out. Now I'm going to press this one back in. I'm going to clean the inside of the frame there, and then I'm going to put a little bit of lube there. I think some silicone lube ought to be fine. Get that one pressed in, and then we'll continue our journey. But wow, that was something new. All right, we'll bring you back. Okay, we've cleaned that all out. Used some crocus cloth, clean that out. Ceramic cloth, actually. Cleaned it out. A little dab of silicone grease on there just to help make it slide a little bit. The tool now is reversed. Same, going into the same pilot hole. Tighten down just enough to hold it in a position. And now the pins are on the outside. Okay? The inside, you can see that it actually moves. So what you're really fighting in this scenario is to get this plastic sleeve pushed back in there again. So that was the problem getting it out. I was just putting it in there. I just got it started, and I could tap around on this all I wanted. It doesn't do anything. You have to tap on the corner of that very gently because it's plastic. It's going to break. So we should be in good shape to press it in now. All right, so I will, well, let's see what happens here. Should be in good shape. Oh, why aren't you using the impact? Well, let's just see how it starts. Let's see, I don't want to tighten, do I? So I'm turning in the loosening direction, which is causing that little trolley with the pins on it to go down and put pressure against this. It doesn't really have any tension yet. It'll get there in a second. The reason I'm using the ratchet right now is to kind of get it started. Once it starts, it shouldn't be such a big problem. And this right here, that's nothing. That's shouldn't be causing you any heartache at all. There you go. One side popped. Still see that? There you go. See it pop again. Now it's probably getting closer to being piloted. There you go, you see the popping. Could probably run it in with the impact right now, but let's see. There you go, popped again, popped again. Yeah. There you go. So as tight as it is going in, throw in 20 years of rust. Yeah, here you go. Hear it popping, popping, popping occasionally. All right, we are going to finish that up, and then again, there's going to be a bolt that lines up here that will pretty much determine if we're in there or not. We will bring you back. Okay, couldn't tell if it was recording or not. All right, that one's pressed in. This bolt's back in position right here, the serrated one. You need to pry it down, and then this thing actually pivots inside, so you maybe not lined up initially when you put it in there. Push this down, tap this left or right, and it'll line up, and that bolt will drop right down in there. Okay, there you go. So that part's in position. Now we could clean up this bracket and put it back up there, but we've got more work to do. It's a never-ending story here at the House of Broken Dobbs things. We've got the opposite side to do. We have rear wheel bearings to do on this one, and looks like I should put a brake line on it. It's not awful, but we should put one on it and go from there. So it's a never-ending story here. So we will clean this stuff up. Looks like that bracket's doing okay, but it sure couldn't hurt to have a little bit of love. Anyway, we'll do that, and we'll keep going because we've also got those track arm ones to put in as well. And we'll be upsetting the toe in, and we'll be doing all kinds of crazy stuff. So we will bring you back shortly. Okay, we've got the opposite side down. We're getting ready to make the pull. And noticing I was over here working on this this track arm, and I got just a whiff of fuel every so often, just a small subtle whiff. You never know what you're going to find until you look. Look at that. That's fuel vapor, canister purge, and look even closer. The line is just completely goobered. Yeah, see? Opening right up. So I think that's my fuel vapor, or at least one of them. So I'm going to fix that before I get my torch out there. What do you think? That's probably the smart play. Let's go. Okay, we get that hose off of there. You can get a low. Okay, we got that hose off. You can get a little closer look at the thing. It was busted in 2 different locations. Right there. There it was going on to the solenoid. So that looks like it's a dropping size. So we will have to adapt. This is nylon up here, hard nylon. And then this was probably a special custom-made adapter. We'll shear that off and then come up with something that'll work. No pressure on this at all, just vapor. And any vacuum or vapor line should be more than adequate to take care of it. So we'll get it fixed. Okay, sorry, the air compressor's running. It'll be just a second. Fuel vapor leak fixed. I went ahead and replaced the other side too. Same kind of a thing. That should be in good shape now. It's too bad. I was enjoying my little whiff of smell of fuel every once in a while, but this one isn't completely broken out yet, but it's dry rotted and nasty and okay. Now, I do have this under tension, all right? So what I was mentioning before is, if you look very closely, there, you see how that hole is out of line? There's the internal and then there's the hole. This has actually pulled this part out of the plastic in its mounting, and the plastic has not moved yet at all, period, none. So okay, I can play that game once. We played it before. Let's see what happens when I apply a little bit of heat. All right, I'm gonna get a little heat shield and we'll be ready to go. Okay, we've just come up with a little piece of stainless, one of those scraps that everybody calls junk, but I have a constant use for them. And we're shielding that vapor valve and everything over there. I'm only going to heat right here. Okay, we shouldn't have any drama. Put a little bit of heat on it. What you're seeing is like undercoating that's burning. Okay, now what happened before is it worked out pretty well when I let it heat a little bit and then saturate. Okay, I'm gonna put a little bit more tension on it. Okay, a little bit more tension. Get that junk off of there. You don't want to see me set the place on fire. It's already softened up, turned into goo. Okay. Got quite a load on it. You see some of it boiling out. Plastic's looking for someplace else to be. Oh, look at that. There you go. Just a little bit of heat and the tool, but neither in the absence of the other. So a little bit of heat under tension made that a really not that drama filled event. The other side, oh Lord, I worked on that a lot harder. But once I started applying a heat there just a little bit, started boiling out, you saw that? Boom, it's out. So there's your trick for today. All right, we'll bring you back. Okay, get her out of here in the sunlight. Dry rotted. Not completely gone though, which is good. I may be a little ahead of the game when it comes to the failure mode. Internal bushing is not too bad, but it's rust and junk and gunk, and you see the dry rot around here. Yeah, it wasn't doing what it was doing. Now, here is the part that I thought you might be interested in. Right there, that's where I was heating. Look how that's reacted. This started boiling out, which basically made that a little bit less clamp load. So when it was under a load, it went ahead and started breaking itself free. Other side, pristine. Nothing. That heat did not penetrate over there yet. But that's okay. I didn't need all of that. All I needed this thing to do was break loose. So we'll put the other one back in. Again, we're going to clean that out. We're going to apply some silicone grease to push it back in there again. And we're using the same tool. We'll bring it back.